if you are wondering what the fear brain is, I made a whole video on that. And now we are going to dive into the signs that your fear brain is actually really active, so you know whether this is relevant for you and whether you are in the grips of your fear brain. So the first sign is that you are on all the time. You are on. You are just feeling hyper alert, um, and almost like scanning all the time. You feel restless probably. So that just describes the whole being on all the time. It's really hard for you to relax. The second sign is that when things go well, when nothing really bad is happening, that's the moment you start worrying. So it is almost like things are not allowed to just go well. You have to worry. You have to worry about something. And sometimes that happens specifically when something good is happening, when you're having a beautiful moment with your partner, or when you are having a moment where you can deeply relax. That's the moment you start worrying. That's also a sign. The third sign is you always have to worry about something. So you worry about one thing, for instance, whether you and your partner are, uh, how do you say that? Share the same sense of humor. And then you worry about that for days, and you try to go back through your memory to times when you had a laugh together. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he makes a joke or she makes a joke, and you're laughing together, and you're like, oh, you see, we do share the same sense of humor. All right, that is solved. Now I can relax. And within an hour, you start worrying about, wait, but if we get along this well, aren't we just friends? Like, are we more than friends, or are we just supposed to be friends? So you're always having to worry about something, and it could be a relationship, it could be something else, it could be the world, it could be anything, but you always have to worry about something to paradoxically feel calm or in control. Like when you're not worrying about something, that's when you kind of feel anxious and restless. The fourth sign is that you are easily startled, and you can have a quite extreme reaction. So it could be that you're startled and then you start crying because of that reaction, of that, how do you say that being scared in that moment. So that's also a sign of the fear brain being on, the fear system being on. The fifth is feeling a lot of fear and tension, even when there is no reason for it. So it could be that everything is fine. You're just sitting on the couch with your partner. You're not really doing anything. You have your tea, and you still feel this tension and fear, and that is a sign that your fear brain or your fear system is on. But that can lead to you thinking that nothing really is wrong, so it must be my relationship. And that can start a whole series of doubts and thoughts about your relationship. But feeling fear and tension and anxiety when there's no specific reason for it, that's also a sign your fear brain is on. Then another sign is periods where your heart is just beating fast. And sometimes there is also no reason for that. And I remember having this and being scared by it because I couldn't find a reason for it. I couldn't find a cause. And so I thought, oh, this is really wrong. Like something is really wrong in my life. But it can just be a sign of your fear brain being active, a little bit too active. Another sign is that it almost feels too easy to be happy, to be just happy. And you're not allowed to just be happy. Which sounds weird, right? But if you pay attention to it, I think a lot of people, if not everybody, has this to a certain degree. But when your fear brain is on, it's like every time you kind of feel happy, you feel a little bit of happiness. It's like, nope, can't do that. Nope, nope, nope. Where you going? Nope. And it feels like that's too easy. Like you have to solve something before you get to be this happy, or you have to do something to deserve to be this happy. So you're not allowed to just be happy. Maybe you recognize that. Another sign is that you are very self-conscious, either in social situations, sometimes even when there's nobody there. You kind of judge yourself constantly. Am I doing a weird thing? Am I doing a dumb thing? How am I coming across? You're just very conscious of everything you do, everything you say, which is so tiring. It's so exhausting. But that's also a sign of your fear brain being on. It's just kind of trying to protect you by trying to make you be perfect, be absolutely perfect, so that nothing can happen to you. Then the ninth sign is that you are overstimulated easily in big groups. And there are obviously other reasons for this too, but your fear brain can be on in big groups. And if you're hypervigilant, so you're always like really paying attention to every small detail, it's a lot in a big group to kind of keep everybody in check. And that's what you maybe subconsciously be doing to see whether there's a threat, to see if somebody doesn't like you. So that in and of itself obviously is overwhelming and overstimulating. But yeah, when your fear brain is on, you pick up so many more details. And so it's easy to get overstimulated. Then the 10th one is constantly checking. And checking can be anything. It can be checking your feelings. So do I feel enough? Am I missing my partner enough? Shouldn't I be feeling more? But it can also be, like I said, in big groups that you're constantly checking what other people think of you, whether you are acting right, whether you are acting socially acceptable. Constantly checking whether you and your partner are still compatible, what other people think of you and your relationship. So it's kind of like trying to get confirmation from the outside constantly. And then the 11th one is the fear of always messing up or always afraid of doing something wrong. It's like you're almost walking on eggshells all the time just because you're convinced that you will mess up at some point and you're always afraid that it will happen. That's definitely also a sign of your fear brain being on. And it's exhausting if your fear brain is on all the time, and you feel like you can prevent something by being so alert. And the thing is that you can't, you won't. It seeing the world from fear is just fearful and exhausting, and you might see more negative things, but it won't make you safer, and it definitely won't make you feel safer. So this is what we work on quite extensively in the online program. So if you are done with having a fear brain that is so on, a fear system that is so on, and you just want to relax and you just want to kind of get your life back and be able to go into big groups and feel fine and go outside and actually be happy and be able to enjoy the moment without having to worry or having to be on all the time, you can check out the online program. It's in the description below or probably in a video up here, and sign up for the program. Let me know in the comments below whether you recognize any of these signs of your fear brain being on. I would love to hear, and I would see you in the next one.